Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking weed.
I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
It's just the sound of the future.
It's the sound of the future.
Yeah.
You know what else sounds good? The sound
Of these beautiful people out there.
I was going to say something a whole lot dirtier, so thank you for taking that over.
It is episode number 200 of Off Panel, Off Topic.
These motherfuckers are loud. Shut up. Why are you having different conversations? You should be
You should be
listening to
watching
us.
the show, man. We're berating the people that came to the show. This imaginary show. Anyway,
Yep, you can get your money back. That's
why are
fine.
you in my living room?
Yeah.
You said earlier.
Who are these people?
Get out of here.
Hey,
Just making some
no, this
coffee.
is nice.
So episode 200, Tyler, 5 years you and I have been, well, I'd say, yeah, we've known each other like
Feels
6
like a
years.
long
We've been
time.
podcasting for
Feels
5.
like a long time, a lot longer.
It's like a lifetime with you.
You know, when you have to day in and day out drudgery, just seems like a long time. That's what it's like.
Lots happened in 200 episodes. You've released albums.
A lot.
You've
I just released one, and I'm already hard at work on the next one.
wow, everybody, already trying to plug
Did I tell you that I am going to challenge
Ireland.
myself?
Oh, Ireland of all places.
I am going to challenge myself, and I'm going to make another full-length album before the end of the year.
2 albums in 1 year. You're crazy, man.
You fucking crazy.
You're crazy.
So
So
one
got-
thing,
Go ahead. Well, we don't usually do the live shows. We did one for 100.
No.
We did one at the North Pole last Christmas.
yeah, that was a special. That was a special. Oh.
That's what I mean. It was a special occasion.
I was about to say something else, but then I fucking touched my
Self.
headphone cord.
Oh, damn. We're just not on it. It's a lot. We're nervous with the live
You
show.
know, so
We like to do these every 100 episodes.
so Jesse Ventura called.
He didn't call.
Oh, is
Ladies
he here?
and gentlemen, live in person.
Okay, so I'll go first. Hey, you guys.
Hey, Jesse the
It's,
Body Ventura.
Wonderful to be here, the former Minnesota governor and also a Navy SEAL. And I just
You
gotta
bet your
tell you,
bippy.
it's your 200th episode. Congratulations. And by the way, the first 199 weren't nothing to write home about. So why the hell are you keeping on with this whole thing? But that's fine with me. It's just FUBAR, like that time we were in El Salvador. And all right, you guys.
Oh, well, we can't talk about El
He's
Salvador.
better. He's better.
Well, we can't talk about El Salvador because when you talk about El Salvador, a lot
Well, you're
of...
politicizing the issue.
Yeah, exactly. You're
know,
making the whole
you
thing
need to
about
be
that Mango Mussolini
and
in
white.
the freaking White House.
Issue, yeah. Yes.
When I was the governor of Minnesota,
Yeah.
I changed the game, okay, for the better. And what did I do? I went to the Baja because I'm sick of this fucking place. I hate to, I
I
lost.
got some real pure heroin. Brought it back over the border and sold that, flipped that shit.
Have you
for
ever
$1
had a
million.
street taco with the fucking black tar,
Oh,
buddy?
boy.
It's an experience.
We should note that our Jesse Ventura impressions are flawed because he doesn't swear.
Oh yeah, he does, pal.
Not like we swear.
I ain't got time to swear. Go with Christ.
He's cool dropping the F-bomb and...
No, I don't even think he's not religious either. That's what's the joke.
I know,
He's a very libertarian
Listen
guy.
here, if you want to swear, you go ahead, but to me it makes somebody sound like a fucking asshole. That's what my grandpa
just
told
not-
me, and that stuck
Hey.
with me all the way through
If
my
you're a
life.
libertarian, you're just not man enough to admit you're a conservative.
I
pal.
don't think you have any idea what it's like to be out in front of a
Do you know
Colombian-
liberty, buddy?
I don't know if you know what it's like to be in front of a Colombian hit squad with only 3 bullets.
So speaking of annoying voices that I want to keep doing, I went and recently saw. I did a special 20-year anniversary for episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So I went and saw it with some friends.
Oh, I was like, our episode 3? Wow. That we called it Revenge of the...
Oh. No, so that was an experience for me because I had never seen that when it came out in theaters.
Pretty sure I did.
So I've only seen it on
What'd you think?
DVD and streaming and whatnot. It doesn't. I have a new opinion of the movie. I don't hate it. I really don't like those prequels, and I will say that I have a different appreciation for this movie. Like there's some things I can still enjoy from it and take from things that I like. Ewan McGregor's fucking great.
Of course.
The dude who plays Palpatine.
Ian McDermott.
He's fucking amazing. Of
course.
He's just he's picking up the scenery, putting it into a sandwich, and just devouring it. And it's amazing, dude.
Is there any way that
and
I
I
can
never
get
noticed
some
this before. I
lettuce
guess
for this sandwich?
It's delicious. Have you ever been to Subway?
By the way, did you know you can resurrect the dead?
Oh, Annie.
Anything?
Annie, listen. I've got some news. She's dead.
Listen. But I've got
so.
some
Okay,
other news.
can I just say, I think as I'm getting older, I think I'm starting to understand that it's a mistake to, because I'm saying this from a place of love, but these movies are fucking comedies.
Yeah.
They're comedies.
Yeah.
They have to be. Just because some of these choices, I'm like, George, did you really think you were cooking, or is the joke on me?
The whole
Because
elevator, the whole elevator sequence is just stop. You need to stop at some point.
dude,
We
he
get
can't-
that the ship is going like upside down. And, oh, wait a second. In the elevator, now up is down because we're upside down. Figure that one out, R2D2. While R2D2. Like, look. Yeah, no, look.
No, I'm not going to pretend that. Look,
We got to
let me give him a. Let me talk about the experience.
You got it.
So I went to the theater. I went to
I had
the.
popcorn.
No, I went to the theater right after work. Because it was like a Thursday screening. It was just like at 6 o'clock. So I get off work, go to the theater, go with my friend, help him
get some
feed
cocaine.
his pets,
Go to
go
the-
get some coke.
Get some prostitute. No, I would never do that.
So then we go to the movie theater, and it's a Flicks Brew House theater. So it's one of those like they bring
Or
food
just
to
give
you.
them free advertising, even though they refuse to
Well,
promote
I don't
us,
know.
whatever.
I don't know if they're a chain or not. If they're like an Alamo Draft House thing. But anyway, we get in there. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm like, screw it. Let's splurge. And I got this thing called a Tombstone Burger. It has like I think it might have been pulled pork,
Tell me about the burger
a
you
brisket.
had.
No, I'm just saying. All of that experience could not still like cover up the flaws. Let me fucking talk. Don't laugh.
I'm laughing at your joke. All that wonderful burger and shit could not cover up the fact that this movie
Movie's
was
still
terrible.
stuck. No. There are moments, like I said, there are moments that I genuinely enjoy. But God, what was he thinking with some of his choices? Like, I could not believe how in the third movie there was still absolutely zero chemistry between Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen. Their relationship is not believable at all. And it's not their fault. It's the stupid fucking dialogue that they're
Actually,
giving.
if you look at them, like just physically, like they're both really hot.
Well, I'm just saying the dialogue they're giving is not good at all.
no. I'm saying like there is a reason why it works. Is that they're both really fucking hot.
And if I'm being kind of honest, this movie really makes Anakin look like a fucking moron. Makes Darth Vader look like an idiot because he.
It takes a lot away from the
At
mystique
no
of Darth Vader.
point when Palpatine is riffing on the dark side does he think like, wait, why do you know this? Was it?
Yeah.
Why did you know who Darth Sidious is and Darth Sidious and all this shit about resurrection and all this? How do you know this? Almost like, do you see my dreams? Are you communicating to me? Almost like you're using the Force? Like, I get that he's young, but I feel like all these prequels do.
Wizard.
I'm not saying it diminishes Darth Vader's legacy or anything like that.
It kind of does.
But you know what? It's kind of perfect because it makes him a bigger bitch and a bigger. No, and that's a good thing. He needs to be a bitch. He's the villain.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Every time they add more mythos to Darth Vader, they just make him more of an annoying shit. And it's good because you remember, oh, he's a fucking villain. I should hate him.
Yes.
And so it doesn't diminish the legacy, but then at the same time, it's like, how can this mastermind, second hand to Palpatine, be so stupid consistently?
Well, when you're saying it like that, all that I can say is he was seduced.
By the dark side.
All that aside, I can tell. I'm just being that. I just never really liked the prequels.
Well,
but
okay.
I will say this one is the most entertaining and most
Yes.
enjoyable of the three. And it was Ewan McGregor is still so fucking good.
The final battle still kicks ass.
You want to talk about drip? Watch Ewan McGregor in episode 3. That dude is always the cool, like.
That's what your parents said.
No, because he's always.
Obi-Wan was hot.
No, I love this because it really something that George does well in this, where I think he kind of doesn't like make Anakin look weaker in these movies. He makes Obi-Wan look even better because he's always the coolest, calmest guy in the room. He's always figuring, and that's what I mean is like Ewan McGregor got that. So his presence and his confidence, you can't help but you're like, look at this fucking guy just leaning back like, oh yes, of course. Or like when Anakin is force choking his wife. Obi-Wan is just mean mugging him, power stance, hand on his hips, just looking at him sternly. And it's like, the drip is like, I'm going to end this motherfucker's life. And you believe it. And he's just like, Anakin, you turned her against me. You did that yourself.
My
so
favorite
good, man.
in episode 3 is when he's got Grievous and like 100 fucking
Hello
killer
there.
death robots. And he just takes out his saber and he does that thing with his fingers. Yeah. The little, come on, Mitch. And it's like, all right, Obi-Wan's kind of a
He was like,
badass.
I came here to kill this motherfucker, and I'm going to kill him.
I came here to kill this motherfucker and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
And he does. Also, I think it's funny watching this movie 20 years later because my friend was sitting next to me. And every time Grievous coughed, this is how I know I'm on TikTok and shit too much. Because the first thing I was like, bro, Grievous been hitting the pen a little too hard. He's like,
Well, actually, there's a story about it, and Anakin does that to him.
well, yeah, his chest, yeah, the
There's
whole thing in his chest.
There's a battle in space, and I can't remember the exact details, but he's
He-
being kept alive by all that
He
shit.
still, I will say, 20 years later, he still looks great. His
Yeah.
design is still amazing.
Yeah.
There are some things that are like, okay, this is a 20-year-old movie. You got to give it some grace. We weren't there yet. The deep fake technology of the clones was not there 20 years ago.
Except for we talked about how hilarious it is when Dooku does shit, right? Okay.
I don't
right.
believe Christopher Lee's old ass is
But-
flipping off that bridge.
Right. But we got to fucking give
Space wizards.
we got to give massive credit. That opening sequence is still fucking slaps fucking hard, dude. The CGI is pretty good. It's still pretty good. Everything that happens in that whole fucking sequence and shit with the robots and that's pretty fucking rad.
And it
There's a
was-
gigantic
for me-
space battle over Coruscant.
Yes.
That's
And-
awesome.
And for me, it was fun to see this movie on the big screen because I had never seen it when it came out. So yeah, it was
Did
really
you
cool.
chuckle a little bit when he was like,
Well, what's amazing is I was watching it with. You also have to understand the prequels have gained so much new life because of Reddit. Because there's a whole entire subreddit that's just called prequel memes that is like still, I think, pretty active. I haven't really looked at it lately. But like these movies have taken on a second life just on the memes of it. So when the meme lines are said,
Got a theory.
like people are popping for it. Like when he goes, "Do it," to cut off Dooku's head, we lost our shit, man. We were fucking into it. Because the meme, the GIF, you know what I'm talking about. Do it. You know, you're not different ages. But anyway, that sequence, when he goes, "Execute Order 66," that's a fucking meme that we cackle at. Hello there. When he drops in on fucking Grievous, we're giggling at that. Like, for that, it's a totally different movie, and it's a totally different experience. Doesn't take away from the flaws, but yeah, I will say this. I appreciate the movie a lot more than I did 20 years, when I first saw it 20 years ago.
Look, we have to make a couple things clear. First thing, the original trilogy, still the best.
The go. Never gonna top that.
The prequels, when they came out, they were looked on kind of divisively and kind of looked down upon because they were like, George is doing everything and this is terrible. Like, it's not very... It's like, we get it. We get what you're trying to do. And every subsequent prequel movie that came out, like Episode 2, like, oh, Jango Fett, that's Boba Fett's dad. Like, that's cool.
Turned out he's the reason
fucking...
for the clones.
No, we didn't know that, but we just saw, oh, cool, it's Boba Fett, but he's blue and silver. Like, oh, that's neat, right?
Yeah.
But it was nothing, right? It's just, Anyway, I think the prequels got a huge boost when the sequel trilogy started, and here's why.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The sequel trilogy is, in retrospect, the worst of the three, overall, I believe.
Oh, because the other two trilogies had a vision, and that fucking sequel trilogy had no vision.
None, right? I mean, even after the first Star Wars Episode 4, which no, you didn't have 9. Shut up. But even after Episode 4, and he was like, oh, this is Episode 5 and Episode 6 and Return of the Jedi, and then even after that, like, yeah, the prequel trilogy was clearly building towards something. That's why the sequel trilogy is such a failure, not only because of itself, but when you look at all the stuff that has come out after that, that is basically around 5 years after the fall of the Empire. 5 years after Return of the Jedi, like The Mandalorian, all that stuff. And none of it appears in the sequel trilogy, and they fucked themselves. They did. They painted themselves into a corner by going, J.J. Abrams, like, whatever you want to do, man, just as long as you make sure we don't get yelled at online. It's like, be fucking bold, man. Be bold. Rian Johnson tried. He tried. And what did they do in Episode 9, I guess it is? 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah.
It was an apology for everything they did in the previous movie.
Exactly. And it's like, fuck you. Oh, let's bring Palpatine. Are you fucking shitting me?
Somehow.
Really?
Palpatine.
Now, don't get me wrong. That first preview when it was like, weird, and you heard his voice, you were like, oh, shit. Because that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then you saw the movie and you're like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, this is Felicity Jones. I guess I'd want to be in a Star Wars movie too. But
Also, this was the first time I've seen a Star Wars movie in a theater since The Rise of Skywalker.
Which was the second one?
Third one. It was the last one.
I don't even see. It doesn't even matter what their things are because they're so.
I will say
bland.
you made a good point because again,
The Force Awakens.
At the very least,
what was the second one?
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Okay, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. What a bunch of fucking stupid names and just whatever gets people into the goddamn theater, guys. Okay, like I don't care. Just call it something and have 17 people write up a script. We already have the actors signed on. We already have people to do the CGI. Let's just churn this crap out and hope that we don't get trolled too bad online. Like you guys have one of the greatest IPs in the world in your hands. George sells it. Everybody's like, oh, a sequel trilogy is coming with the original
da-da-das, right? From
Yeah.
the GOAT. We got Harrison fucking Ford. We got,
Mark Hamill.
and you just
Carrie Fisher.
pissed away. Just pissed it away on focus groups. Fuck you, Disney. Sorry, but
Well, okay.
everything after that, great. Everything before that, But the sequel trilogy just pisses all over Star Wars so hard.
Well, it goes back to what I'm saying with like the issues that I've always had with Star Wars, and what we've always talk about when we talk about Star Wars is they constantly need the need to go back and tell a story and not just have characters have some exposition and tell a story and just that be it. We have to explain that shit. And
When
it's
the,
like,
when
we
the sequel,
don't.
right, the sequel trilogy started, and Finn was supposed to be one of the main characters.
Oh my gosh! And the
But what happened? They listened to trolls online, and they're like,
actress that was fucking harassed after the second
Rose. She was harassed to the point that she
Her
gave up
character gets
social-
pretty much eliminated in the third movie.
Yeah, which she was a huge part of too. Her and Finn, because that was the point.
And this has always
That
been,
was fun. That there was a former
and this is-
stormtrooper.
and this is-
Crazy.
This is what happens when you let a community get astroturfed by a fucking bunch of toxic liars that make their money on rage, and you let them dictate everything you're doing, and that's what happens. And then you have shit like Andor that's really good and people like it, and then some dumb fuck like Star Wars Theory bitches because rape shouldn't be in Star Wars, that shit wouldn't happen, and then everybody tell him he's full of shit and he's stupid. That would happen under the Empire because they're evil. Why
Are you
wouldn't it
kidding
happen?
me? Yeah, there's so much. There are
So then
so many
to the
pockets of
point-
imperial stuff with no oversight.
We get to a point where everything is so nitpicky and overthought and overdone in this universe, and I just wish it wasn't. And then you have shit like Andor that's really good, and it doesn't.
Segue.
Where you have the issue with. Thank you. We've been doing it for 200 episodes.
We figured it out.
Well, you have the shit like we
I'm
talked-
Tyler.
Never introduced it, and we're 22 minutes in. You know what this fucking is. 200 episodes. We say to the theme song, they can figure out who Jake and Tyler is.
Yeah, Tyler was singing. If you need to
Tyler
know.
was him.
Yeah, because me and Jake. Okay.
Tyler is him. Is what I meant.
He, him, hers. He, him, his.
No, I'm saying I'm him. You know, like what the kids say nowadays. And they think they're good. I'm him.
I don't know if you. Real quick aside.
You know who-
There's a whole thing between conservative assholes right now that it's funny for them to say loudly what their pronouns are in public. Have you noticed this when you've been like in the mall or something? Yeah, there's like packs of roving white people like.
Mine is his, her, his.
I've never noticed.
Really?
I've never experienced that.
I'm glad. It's really awful.
I don't know what you're talking about. But Andor.
Maybe I just saw it that one day and it's what's going on everywhere.
Andor.
It's going on everywhere.
Andor. Focus.
And or what?
Andor, we don't get 3 episodes that come out.
So first, let's talk about.
Before we get there, we only reviewed episodes 4 and 5.
Well, I was gonna talk.
So I just want to give them that. But continue. You
I
have
was
the,
going
you
to
have the
get into
floor,
that.
dude.
I was going to.
Whose
get
show is this? Yours. And mine.
We were talking.
Yours out there as well, fam.
We were talking last week on the show, and I think you probably read about it if you like this show. But what they're doing is they're doing 3 blocks of 3 episodes at a time. So it's 4 weeks, 12 episodes, and 3 episode blocks, and each one takes place, and then the next 3 take place a year later. So by the time of 10, 11, 12, it'll be the year that, it'll be the time that
Like right before
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One.
Yeah.
But you and I didn't know they were going to do 3 at a time.
We didn't until today. I suspected after they released 3 last week. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna, because I knew about the time jump and the chunk.
Like every 3
I knew
episodes.
that each 3. Yes. So there was a part of me that was like, maybe they're gonna release 3, which I didn't. But here's the thing: it feels like I was reading on Wikipedia to see if Alan Tudyk is coming back as K2SO, and he is.
Cool.
But I was reading about it, and it was like season 1, season 2, and I'm like, oh yeah, that first 3 episodes was part of season 2. That wasn't like season 2, and this is season. I texted Jake and I said, dude, I need more television like this. I don't know if anybody has done this before, where it's 3 episode blocks or a block of episodes released on the same day, and then it cuts at a certain point, and then a year passes, and we come back and here's another block of episodes. It's ingenious. Like, I really like.
Well, yeah, it forces the narrative forward.
It is so good, and there's the way that they have brought everything along in the first 6 episodes, because again, we haven't done 7 yet. We both realized that we're doing a movie on Sunday.
Well, yeah, but 7, 8, and 9 aren't out until
4,
next week.
5.
We're 4, 5, 6.
No, yeah, we're not doing 6 till Sunday. You're
Yes.
right. But we both realized, okay, we can leave 1 episode for then, because we got a lot of shit going on, bro. And 3.
Gotta plan this show.
3 is a lot, and yeah, give it to me at midnight on Tuesday, and then I'll take all day on Tuesday to what. Anyway, but I'm not super mad about it, because the way that they have told this story without a lot of unnecessary exposition. Somebody's fucking. I think I did that. Yep, that was my fault. Son of a bitch.
Gave me hope.
And then you took it away. I don't know what to do. And I don't know what to say. So
But
give me some cocaine.
And get out
and
of
a bottle of
my
pills.
way.
Or yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Came for the podcast, stayed for the song.
Stayed for the rock. I went to a podcast and a rock concert broke out.
Anyway. That was cool.
Thanks. let's take a break. Take this fucker out.
No, take this fucker out.
Take this
Kill
fucker.
somebody.
Yeah, right.
Hey, come on, drinks.
Did we record that? God damn it.
The service was great, but I almost killed a man.
The service is great, but then my waitress killed everybody at my
Well,
table.
tell me something I can't understand. I could just kill him.
I could just. No, it's here as something you can't understand. How I could just kill.
Well, maybe he was riffing. You ever think about that?
No, it's very clearly trying to explain to white people.
All right, episodes 4 and 5 of Andor. Yes, I agree with what you're saying a lot, and I thought about when you texted me about that. Because the first thing I thought was, it forces the narrative forward. The only other time I've seen something similar would be maybe when Breaking Bad did their final season, because they split that into 2, but they split it in half. And it was 5 episodes apiece, but
I
it was
think
like
Better Call
months,
Saul might
maybe
have
even,
done it
if I
too.
remember correctly, maybe a year or 2 apart.
Yeah.
But I love this because the narrative is constantly moving forward. So each time you sit down and watch this, you're essentially getting a movie every week, because it's an hour and a half, 3 hours.
A movie of the week.
It's 3 hours, and
Yeah.
there's just so much that I love about what he did, what Tony Gilroy is his vision of how this time period in Star Wars is unlike The Mandalorian and this other stuff that's come out that I've constantly talked about, how it doesn't make sense that there's no mention of them in between this and the timeline.
None. Zero.
But to see him do that properly and do that in a cool way, bridging the gaps of what happened after the Republic fell, leading to the destruction of the the plans to destroy the Death Star, and how all that came to be. And
To be honest, it's very prescient right now, because if you don't think what's going on in the halls of our country is the same as what Mon Mothma's going through. I don't know what to tell
And you
about
notice that dude, the last episode, she was worried about her friend. You notice he's nowhere to be found a year later.
She wasn't worried about him. She knew he was going to get killed by Luthen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was upset. Or, that's why she looks the way she does.
Got drunk and partied her ass off.
Well, as if you would, knowing your friend's going to die.
That was the point, is that she couldn't
No.
do anything about it. So that's why she
But that's-
drank those 2 shots and just danced
That's not the
night
fucking
away.
point I was making. What I was trying to say was, what I was getting to was you notice he's not there, being like, oh yeah, he's dead. And that was a way of the show showing and not telling. But you didn't let me finish.
Well, I mean, if you're not aware of that, you just weren't watching last episode. I mean, come on. It's an episode ago. Come on. I like it when you try to make a point, and I'm just like, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm too cool for you. Nope, I don't even know. I don't even know your name.
200 episodes, and we gotta.
Nope.
Nope.
Never heard of him.
You know what?
Never heard of him. Ow. You know, this is what's dumb about getting old. I did this the other day when we were talking. I just did like a Dennis Miller neck thing.
Hey,
like,
bud.
Hey, bud. And hey, bud. Hey, listen here.
I'm Dennis Miller.
I'm
Hey,
Dennis
babe.
Miller. Check out my references. And I'm talking about my resume, babe.
And I'm smart, I think.
Yes.
I think I'm the smartest fucking guy.
Look at my giant fucking mane.
So your neck hurts, Dennis.
No, but I mean, it's very prescient because I think nobody's talking about revolution
Talk about revolution.
yet. But what they're going through in their universe and everything, it's on an even broader scale. And to be able to tell a story, look, I know that a lot of people are really going to hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna.
Uh-oh. He's going to get real, everybody. Take the mic off the stand and you drop it on the frickin' stage.
That'll hurt the mic.
He's right. Don't do that. You're right.
When we had insurgencies and stuff, when we basically after 9/11 we occupied Baghdad in Iraq, and we had insurgencies. In the minds of the insurgents, they were just doing the same thing that the revolutionaries did in the American Revolution. And I know a lot of people don't like hearing that because they want it. America's good, everybody else bad. That's what they want. But you have to understand that if somebody's occupying your country, like we've never dealt with that as a country. At least not since 1812, I believe, is the last time that there was any occupied soil.
Are you talking about the French Indian War?
The War of 1812,
Because that
which was
yeah. I got the
French
timelines.
Indian War was before that.
Yeah, I got the timelines mixed up.
Just a whole bunch of fucking wars, really. Honestly, let's call this one. I'm out of names. Let's call this one the War of what year is it? 1812 sounds good to me. Burn down that fucking White House.
The Great War, the War of the Roses, the fucking best war.
The fucking War of fucking go eat a sandwich. Hey, can I get a side of pico? No fucking way.
Hey man, which war had this genocide? You know what I mean? That's like kind of where we are as a fucking existence.
Yeah.
But that's a great point. I wanted to talk about that with the timeline.
I want people to understand that we talked about this last week. There are conservatives and alt-right folks and maggots and all them and Mahas, whoever the fuck, shut the fuck up.
They're not from the Baja.
They're from the Make America Hork again.
Make America holy again.
Hey, I'm from Baja. Make America high again.
I know that we talked about this last week. I know that a lot of people on that side of the aisle, and let's not divide. Shut the fuck up for a second.
There's a fascist in the White House.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
You know what? Hey, yeah, exactly. Thank you. But a lot of people watch these movies and they go, yeah, Princess Leia, yeah, Luke Skywalker, yeah, Han Solo. And I have to tell you, you are wrong. You are not them. You are Grand Moff Tarkin. You're Darth Vader. Your fucking yes. Your General Veers.
Your Honor. I'd like.
The point is that you have to understand that to be a fully well-rounded individual and to work for our society as a human society, for us to ever progress and evolve, we have to be able to understand the other person. And what that means is saying something like, no, I do not approve of the insurgents and what they're doing to American service people while we're occupying their country. But that's a whole other, right? But I know, I'm saying we have to understand that. And this show is showing us what it's like to be like living in Gaza right now and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? How do you look at how many people are trying to act like nothing's wrong and just go about their day because they don't want to be a part of it. They don't want to be caught up in it, right? All the people she's asking for votes and shit. All the insurgencies happening on Gorman and stuff.
Okay,
This is all.
I just want to just point out something. No, I want to drive home
I think I spit all over your microphone.
your point. The point that I can attach to that as well is George himself said that the Empire is America. In the original trilogy, when in that famous clip of him talking to James Cameron, when he explains that the Empire is America and the Vietnamese are the rebels. So that's always been the thing of like, yeah, you got to understand that there's a reason, like, there's so much more nuance to these things. But what I wanted to talk about too, in what you were saying, what we were saying earlier, with like how wars blend together and stuff, and truly, because of how violent human beings are in our nature, like our history is defined by battles and wars and time. So it's kind of interesting. I made a joke that was nerdy, but it is kind of cool that when we keep doing these time jumps, like you were talking about last week, where we see BBY 3, like, okay, so this is before the Battle of Yemen.
Yavin.
Yavin, I had it right the first time.
Yavin.
You know Yemen?
Hey, I'm Michael J. Fox.
Wait, what do you think they were saying here? Is it supposed to be Yemen?
Are you seriously fucking ripping on Michael J. Fox?
But I love that. And again, it goes back to, okay, we're really seeing the progression of where we're going to be, where Rogue One happens and all that. I like that there was, I really wanted to talk about the planet and all that with because you had mentioned before any of this, I don't remember what it was, what time we were talking about Star Wars, or what movie or what show or whatever. But you were geeking out about the idea of like Andor talking about the silk and the armor and the planet, and I just wanted to know what you thought about all that. Because you were like, I thought it was fucking cool that we're doing shit like that.
Well, again, like, you see what's going on with, like, when she's talking to the first group of politicians when they first show Mon in the first episode, or episode 4.
Yeah.
And she's like, da-da-da-da-da, and that one senator is like, you're confusing politics with criminality, or whatever. Don't confuse politics with criminality. Listen, what do you think the playbook is for people in power in this country right now to fuck with and try and erase trans and gay people? They criminalize them. They criminalize. Do you see what I'm saying? Human beings, immigrants, illegal immigrants, whatever. They're being criminalized, right? That's how you do it. And you see when, through different ways of talking to people, you hear like, well, I've never met a Gorman that I liked. You know, they always act like there's so much, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's the planet with the spiders.
But that's the propaganda. Yeah. That is the propaganda that, like, say the U.S. is pumping out right now to the regular, to undecided voters about trans, or rather, I should say stupid fucking people in our country, rather, because how the fuck are you undecided right now at this point? But they pump out propaganda.
Yeah.
And that's, whether or not it's true, there's a lot of people that want to buy into it. Mm-hmm. And there are people out there like Cyril's mom who are like, why? They're only too ready to believe it. Because they probably have never met anybody from Gorman, even though they said they have.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to bond with other people.
I love that the Gormans
We're bonding over hate.
The first time we see them, they're bugging the Empire, and we already see that they're having an uprising. And their leader, I really loved his.
This is a
scene.
year after they decided to fuck with Gorman. Don't forget. So
Yeah.
they've been
after they
fucking
plotted
with for a year.
the propaganda shit
So
in the
this
last
is a year
couple
that they've been.
episodes.
By this point, that's an insurgency
Yeah,
that's
now,
been building
yeah.
for a year. Yeah.
So at this point, it's happening. They're full fledged trying to make Gorman a thing, and I love that this arc, in this particular part of the season, we're focusing on why the fuck is this planet so important, and I think we're gonna start seeing more and more with like the armor and the silk and another thing that I loved about
the
these
armory.
the armory and all that stuff.
I said
And
armor. I was like, what?
the silk. Well, they talked about the silk armor at one point.
Oh.
But it used for their armor, their weapons, and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And also, I loved about these episodes to see Cassian play a part again and see him be a spy, be a spy again, and then clock this person following him and be like, "Hey, you're gonna blow my fucking cover, man. Like, I'm here for a reason. I'll talk to your
And
leader. Like,
what's
chill
happening?
out."
But what's happening is we're watching Cassian push back against his spy, and what he's been doing. And the reason why is because he's got something to lose now. And there's twice now that he almost lost her, Bix.
Yeah.
And what he fails to recognize is that keeping her with him, whether she wants to be there or not, and I think mostly she does, but keeping her with him is what's causing all of the trauma. I mean, what's continuing her to not be able to heal from that trauma.
Yeah.
And now she's taking drugs to, you saw in episode 2, she's just laying on the floor in the apartment watching crappy daytime Coruscant TV with a gun in her hand and probably just zoned out of her fucking mind, probably maybe not even eating. That's not healthy for her. Despite the fact that she loves him and he loves her, at some point, she's like, we gotta win.
This is the life
maybe
you
that's
and
maybe that's
fun-
her way of coping with it.
And that's what's interesting, because she has the moment of being like, I can't stop seeing the face of this person I killed, and then he's like, well, he knew the risks putting on the fucking uniform. We wouldn't be here if we didn't do it, like if you didn't kill him or whatever. But it's also like it's like he can't get out. It's like Andor can't get out of his own way, because it's just. At one point he's saying, like, he's justifying her killing someone, saying like, hey, it's the job, but then can't get out of his own way and let her do what she was meant to do and be like, look, you got to suck it up and do this or get out, because there's no going back at this, or like, you're gonna die, there's no going back at this point, and we don't know where episode 6 ends. I've watched about half of it. I didn't have a chance to finish it, so
I didn't even get into it.
so we'll talk about that later when we do the Thunderbolts. But this arc so far, I've really liked.
Turn out the lights.
Yeah,
Cyril and Dedra got it on.
Turn out the light.
I just have to say, like, if you aren't impressed out of your fucking mind with the acting in this show,
Oh, can I just say,
you're not.
another
watching
thing I
this
realized watching this show.
Uh-huh.
Props to Tony Gilroy and everything he's been doing with this by making believable relationships. Because I want to criticize episode 3 of Star Wars and being like how unbelievable Anakin and Padme are together. I want to applaud the multiple romances that are in this show are believable. And like you just talked about, when when Cyril comes home, she's like, turn out the lights, and like Bix and Andor, having that intimate.
That shit with the hands was fucking hot.
Well, that, or the part when he comes home and they're kissing, and
Popping a chub.
and it's again believable that these two love each other. It's just, again, shout out to this show actually having believable relationships and believable romance. So and it makes me care more when all these people fucking get murdered. What do you think? Do you think they're trying to do a Cyril redemption arc in this season?
No.
I'm trying to figure out I still don't like the guy because he was a bootlicker in the first. Because I thought that's what they were trying to do this season.
No,
when he's helping or this episode when he's helping the Gordons.
I think you are seeing Cyril, despite how fucking kind of evil he is a sympathetic.
Still a fascist bootlicker.
Yes, but he's a sympathetic character, which is
Yeah, because his mom sucks.
right.
And he's in love with a woman, and like he's relatable in that sense. Yes, I get what you mean.
You know she fucking pegs.
And the
that.
actor-
You know she pegs that motherfucker too.
They're into fucking serious, like 50 Shades.
Bondage.
50 Shades of the Empire, if you know what I mean. 50 Shades of Palpatine.
Yeah, it's good. Good.
Let the hate flow through you.
And by hate, I mean my jizz.
I was gonna say,
We're both
let
right
it flow on her chest.
Wow. Hate leads to anger. Okay, so
Anger leads to boners.
wow. Weird.
What? They're in the Empire.
I know, it's fucking weird. So, but no, there's just moments when all of them have these moments.
There's these moments when all of them have these moments.
I was stopping and starting a douchebag. Every one of the actors, like the main actors, like has had like their moments of, you know, solo. You know, they're in kind of the spotlight, or it's their moment where they get to talk, where they get to have that,
Spotlights on
you know,
them. Yeah.
Bix, where you know.
What did you think of her like nightmare thing, like her dream? I thought that was a really
It's
cool.
trauma.
Oh well, no, I thought that was a really cool intro to this episode 4.
Well, it has to be. Look,
What?
if you've never suffered through trauma, and every one of us has, whether people want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
But if you've never suffered through it or realized it, maybe you don't know that it is something you live with for the rest of your life. It's how you carry it.
Yeah, and how you deal
You
with
never get rid of it, or you never get over it, whatever that is. You need to learn how to carry it, and that's the hardest thing to do because nobody can tell you how to carry it.
it. Yeah, there's no
And
instruction manual.
I spent 8 years with somebody trying to help them figure out how to carry some serious trauma, and you know, all I got out of it was
a podcast.
I got, you know,
I'm trying to make some light of
But
this.
there was a point where you can't
Some levity.
tell that person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You can't-
you can come at it from your own.
You can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped.
You can't you don't want to abandon them, but at the same time, you're like, what am I going to do? Spend my life?
No. No, that's
I'm
not
a
fair to
fucking
you.
Rock star, dude. I can't. Yeah. Well,
We're gonna have some technical difficulties here. We're gonna deal with
it's all
this
good.
here. We'll be
It's all
right
good.
back.
No.
Stick around. Tyler, before we get out of here, we got some books, some comic books to talk about tonight. Some books, some thick books. Well, 22 pages. Anyway, last week we talked about Absolute Flash number 1. Now we have Absolute Flash number 2. Number 2.
For those keeping track, that's the second book.
Yes, I think the number 2 gave that away, but thank you, Tyler.
That's the second book. For all those with scorecards, number 2. The second one. Turn the page
So
to 2.
we both talked about how we really enjoyed the first issue. I love that we were doing the classic Flash storyline, because if you look at it, that's always been his thing, is that he moves so fast that he moves through space and time. So it's only natural that, like, you know, we start a new Flash book with that sort of dynamic. But I think it's done in a very interesting way, and I think it continues in this issue, because even more so because we get to see like his traditional villains. So who's the team from last issue, Tyler? Because we didn't.
It's Captain Cold, Golden Glider, Trickster, and Captain Boomerang.
Can I just say, this Captain Cold he fucks. Like I love his design, the mustache,
Yeah,
and
he's-
the fucking fur, like the
It's
feather
basically Captain Cold if you took the hood away but left him with a fur collar and gave him some sweet hair and sweet stash.
Yeah, well, it looks like they kind of like mixed a little bit of Craven the Hunter in with his look.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, to give him that the must. To me, it's the mustache.
So Jeff
and
Lemire
just his design. I really love this team's design. Like the fact that Captain Boomerang's boomerangs are drones.
Jeff Lemire is a guy. Look, if you're gonna write a flash book, an origin, you better be prepared to tell it from different angles and different times, and that is what he is able to do. And so, beginning of the book, he's getting chased by the people, and they're basically figuring out that he's metahuman, superpowered, and they're like, well, shit. They chase him, and he does this whole thing where he blows up all of his speed power out of him, and they takes him to the back where he found Barry doing the experiment, and what ends up happening is that we're seeing it from Barry's point of view, where Wally just disappears.
And I'd like to point out because Barry gets evaporated in the last issue.
Right,
And that's how Wally gets his powers.
We come into him now. It says because he comes on. He discovers the dead body of Barry Allen in the caverns while he's running. Right. So then we look at it from Barry Allen's point of view, which we didn't see it last week or last episode.
Last issue.
Right. But Wally
All of
West's
those were
dad
true, by the
kicks
way.
his ass because he's like, "Where the fuck is my boy? Where is he?" And they finally see that he's a Speed Force, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dad, it's like, oh, it's okay, son. It's gonna be okay.
It's not
He's just
yeah, it's like
freaking
this
out.
like entity
Yeah.
of just like pure electricity and speed force energy.
And he loses his energy again around his dad and Barry, and then he's back to the present.
Yeah, again, I've noticed this is kind of a trope that you see a lot in modern comic books, but it goes back to what I always say. It's okay to have a story that fits a certain like subgenre with the time travel and things and the looping if it's done well. And again, I think this story does it really well. I think that jumps and cuts through time at just the right parts. And yeah, I really dug this. Both of the issues, I really dug what he's doing with the
And
Flash.
Trickster basically saved
they're
them all
doing
with
with the Flash,
with these balls of force, and he then moves the ball to take Wally West captured, but he gets out of it and he runs away, and they're chasing him again, and he's just trying to get away, and he moves into like his own memories, and he's looking at like pictures with his dad and his mom and stuff, and then all of a sudden he is forward. I see what's coming. I see tomorrow. No, two tomorrows. One of them, he's like a speedster, and he's in a mall, and everybody's looking up at him and like, oh, he's a hero. And the other one, he's like an entity, and he's clearly the villain.
Yeah.
Then he trips and he falls, and he's just sitting there. He's like, I don't know what's going on with me. And they show Captain Cold back, and he's like, all right, let's let him out. Captain Boomerang's like, you sure you want to do this? No, but we don't have a choice. Get Grodd.
Oh, this is amazing.
And we see
the
these
cliffhanger's so good.
fucking. I think they mentioned Grodd earlier in the book. I think we missed it, but they show these eyes, and you turn the page, and it's this little like alien monkey looking thing.
Because
Like
usually,
chimp.
yeah, it's Gorilla Grodd, this big, intelligent ape, and then it's just this small monkey.
Which, I mean,
If you're gonna make
color me
changes, make
intrigued.
changes. Yeah. Again, done really well. I dug it a lot. It's just I can't get enough how even like Wally's design, like all the character designs, I really love. I love the art. I love where the story's going. I still believe my theory from the last issue that I think that Barry Allen is going to be. This whole tease of Wally being evil, I think is a bait and switch because it's just to try and make you think.
I don't think
that,
Wally's evil. I think they're just.
Well, they're just like two possible futures or whatever they're making.
no. I'm
I think Barry Allen is going to be Reverse Flash. I think that's what it's going to lead to at some point.
Probably. The one thing I like about when they showed the possible future where he's a hero, I don't like his design. Not saying it's set in stone by any means, but I don't like it. It looks hacky. But other than that,
You look hacky.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I'm very pleased with the Absolute Flash. It's probably number 4 for me.
should maybe write this down. Because I'm not even sure what my rankings are.
Oh, Wonder Woman is my first. Superman's second, and then Batman's right there at 3. And Batman has to be 3 because of the filler issue. But Flash has got to be 4. I'm intrigued by Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern, but I haven't. Neither one is really.
I've not read issue 2
Clicked with me.
of Martian Manhunter. I was going
It's
to do
interesting.
That next week.
It's interesting.
All right,
Yeah.
next book.
Absolute Flash. Absolute
Absolute
Wonder
Wonder Woman. Number 7.
Number 7.
Undisputed amongst
Oh,
Tyler.
oh, and by the way,
Undisputed number 1.
Chris Walken is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolute Wonder Woman. You know who else really likes Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Al Pacino. Wow.
Listen here. All I wanted to do
I said
was
Wonder
get a
Woman.
coffee at the Starbucks, and you just had to fuck with me.
I said Diana.
Now I gotta have a cigarette.
Diana, you got huge abs.
Wow. So last time we saw Wonder Woman,
ripped,
she was in hell with
Underworld.
Hades.
I love
And
Hades' design.
yeah. And
Well, first it starts with her meeting with Persephone.
yes.
Which is the wife of Hades, and they kind of touch on her mythology. If you know the Greek mythology of it, he essentially kidnaps her and forces her to be his bride. It's
Yeah.
kind of a fucked up story.
Well, it totally is, because she at some point it's yeah.
But that's Greek mythology. Anyway,
And then Arena of the Damned, and
so, yeah,
she's
it
fighting
cuts
this
to-
giant tiger thing.
she's fighting a chimera.
Chimera, yeah.
Chimera thing. She's fighting a chimera. Folks, it was here in Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman number 7.
Listen, I don't know about what you guys think it was, but clearly, from my time as governor of Minnesota, I can tell you right now, my own 2 eyes, I see that's a chimera. That's
How dare you, chimera?
no doubt in my mind. Former Navy SEAL, I got eyes like hawks.
Yeah. And they're fighting, and Hades and Persephone are kind of,
Having their
chit-chatting a
banter.
little bit back and forth, and Persephone's like, if I could fucking stick a knife in your throat right now, would you piece of shit? Anyway.
It's very similar to The Flash. We're jumping back and forth. And again, I've noticed that a lot in modern comics. But this and Absolute Flash, I think, are examples of good stories that utilize going back and forth on,
And
between the past and present.
This issue focuses on a story called The Lady or the Tiger.
Yes.
And she talks really quick with Hecate.
I will tell you this. I am a sucker for whenever you're telling a mythological story like this, to have that kind of art style and that kind of let me see it. Let me explain it. Give me the book.
Give me the fucking book, little Jesus. Give me the fucking book. I've been running right away.
But it's like
to
that.
it
It's like that
looking.
Greek
Oh, yeah.
script where it
Yeah.
looks like it's like on a
It
piece
looks like
of
it's on a vase.
Yeah, like sculpture or something.
It's on a vase.
Yes, vase.
A vase. I just wanted to tell you.
I'm gonna get it ceramic, so like a ceramic, like a mug or a vase. Yeah, you said vase. But I was like, there's another word I'm thinking of. Vase was one of them, but there was another one I was trying to add to it. But
I
you got
love
the
you
point.
because I totally had it, and you're like, we could have left it, but you're like, no, we can think of other ways. Mugs, pottery, ceramics,
It was pottery. It was pottery. It wasn't even mugs. I said ceramic.
water jugs. candlestick holders.
But I'm a sucker for that kind of artwork and like the script, the font and like the change in the caption. I love that shit. I'm a sucker for it.
Love that shit.
So yeah, she says that like she tells her the end of the story. It just kind of ends. And Diana's like, "This is bullshit. This sucks. What's the message? What's the lesson?" And she's like, "Well, we need to figure that out together." And that's like she reads it again at a different time, and Diana's trying to like figure out the message of the story and essentially like what's the secret. And that's the running theme as well as she's fighting the chimera in the arena. And then Hades and Persephone keep having their back and forth because essentially Hades has to punish her for leaving the underworld, for leaving hell, you know. And you got the book. You keep telling me what's next.
Well, they go back to the arena, and Wonder Woman's, kicking her ass, and, Persephone and Hades are going back and forth, and they go show her and Circe again, and she's a little older, and she's telling her the story again. And it's not the gods, it's the princess who decides, then perhaps that's not what it's about. I don't like the princess. She's selfish. She loves herself. Maybe we're supposed to agree with her. She should be better. That assumes she chooses to let him die. She should be better regardless of her choice, even considering his death is beneath her. I understand you were caught up on her worthiness, but do you think that is the point of the story? No. So, then they go to now.
And she's got the Chimera in a situation where she's got it in a chokehold, and she's like pleading to Hades, like, "Don't make me kill."
Not yet. She says, "I take no pleasure in your pain, but if you will not yield, you leave me no choice. Yield and fight another day." He roars. She goes, "I see." They go back to the before.
'Cause it roars at her.
And she realizes, I'm not the princess.
She's the tiger.
Now,
Or is she?
She has beaten Hades. Do not make me kill her. Only one of you may leave the arena, princess. And she's basically like, hey, if you make me kill her,
I'll kill the fucking thing. I'll do it.
It's gonna fucking, you're
don't
gonna
wanna
come
do
back
it.
on you. So she does. Rest peace in the next life. And then she goes after his ass. And it's pretty fucking great.
She just keeps talking shit, being like, "Fuck you, you're Zeus's lapdog, and you're stuck down here in your little prison that you think is a kingdom."
And he's like, so pick a door, princess. Behind one door is certain death, the other freedom. You'll lose your,
She'll never be able to come back to the underworld until she dies,
and
leaving
Circe
her mother.
clearly is making a choice, and Wonder Woman flies down to one of the doors and opens it up. And she comes right back, and she's like, oh, about that. It seems I had occasion some time ago to eat a diabolical pomegranate seed your wife gave me. And so she gave her the ability to travel back to hell once a month. Because of the seed. So she leaves her, and she says, I can't set foot on hell, or else I'll have to stay for a month.
Yeah.
That's part of the thing or whatever. And it's pretty dope, man.
I love that book. It's such a good book, and you and I have talked about this on this show. You and I both really love when what Thor does and what Wonder Woman does of like blending this mythology into the DCU and blending mythology into these comic books and having someone to have these interesting fresh takes on something that is mythology that is meant to be iterated on and changed and tweaked.
Yeah, like one of the things I want to talk about just real briefly, like I'm a huge fan of Clash of the Titans, like the original one from like the 1970s, 80s.
Harry Hamlin.
With Harry Hamlin, yeah, like the original. And in those times, in a lot of movies, when they show the Greek or Roman gods, they typically are a bunch of white people, men and women, but they're in togas, right? But they're people, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. In a lot of movies, it's kind of hard to, if you want to make them more than that, it's, you're talking about special effects and budget and all that stuff. But one thing so far, we've seen, I believe, 3 gods. We've seen hell, or sorry, Hades, Persephone, and what's his name? The guy who gave him fire.
Prometheus.
Prometheus and also Hecate.
Yeah.
Hecate?
I'm not sure the pronunciation, but yeah, we see like a glimpse of her.
We've seen her before also. But the thing I like about it is that the people, when they came up with the designs for these gods, they were like, okay, we don't have to have a uniformity among them at all.
Yeah.
Like Persephone sometimes appears large, sometimes she appears smaller. Hades has his own design that's really separate from her, but also similar. I really like how the design of the gods is done in these books. That's what I like most.
I love, and like I was saying earlier, that's one of the things I love about when they do something with mythology, and where they give such distinction and unique looks to them. Be like, hey, these are gods and titans and monsters and other otherworldly things. Yeah. So like I think of like God of War, those video games where. A lot of the times I like to think, like, in mythology, like, the Titans were bigger than the gods, and they're almost kind of in terms of, like, I like to think, like, Hulk compared to a regular person, like, he's, like, 9-10 feet tall, like. But in that game, they're, like, colossal size. And, like this, where, like, Hades is this whole, like, weird blue liquid that we don't even know, like, almost like ectoplasm-looking shit.
Yeah. And his face, like, is a weird fire beard.
Oh my god, dude! Persephone's design is so cool with like the earthly.
Super ornamental. Her fingers almost look like they're made of broken wood.
She has like that weird veil on the side of her face, like each side of her face. Like, I loved it. I love it. Love this consistently. The writing, the art, this book, unbelievable. Just so good.
So good. So good.
You know what, Tyler? 200 episodes, buddy. We've done it.
Are we going to do a wheel of, real quick, we're going to do a wheel of impressions?
Tyler, I'll give you one. It's me, Al Pacino. And I'm in a movie with my best friend, Christopher Walken.
Oh, Al, how are you?
Yeah, that's not very fair. It just seems like you're doing.
Well, what
impressions
about
and I'm
you?
sitting
What's some
there.
voices you can do? Funny man? Maybe now I'm doing Don Rickles.
I can't help it. Sometimes I just fall into it.
Listen to me. I don't know if I want to do any voices right now.
You just fucking.
No, but if you were like, hey, do this.
Well, what do you do? Dennis Sharina.
Oh, you think these two fucking jackasses over here? Is this moron number one? Put moron number two on the phone. Oh, you think he's coming to New Jersey, huh? If I see you again, I'm going to take this phone and bury it into your fucking skull. You hear me there, Joe? That stands for me.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.